What are your proposed policies on Planned Parenthood?
Well, I believe that abortion should always be an option because not everybody goes through the same thing. Does that make sense? Not everybody goes through the same circumstances as everybody else. So like, there's like multiple reasons why an abortion would be a better option than to go through and have a baby. For example, if you have some kind of medical condition and like giving birth could literally kill you or the baby, then obviously abortion may be a better option for you just because you don't want to die, especially if you didn't really want the baby in the first place, if it was an accident or anything like that. Or if you were raped, obviously you just went through a like extremely traumatic experience, so you wouldn't want to wake up every day and that would be the first thing that came to your head whenever you can't abort the baby because we took that option away from you. And obviously being raped really is like a hard thing and nobody knows what that person is going through. So taking away that option, their head is already not clear because they went through this traumatic experience. So taking away that option would just want them to like take it in their own hands basically. So once somebody has their mindset on something and there is no way for you to have like a safe like abortion for to have that option, then you could like use something like clothes hangers. I've heard of that, which is super dangerous for you and the baby. So it should always remain as an option.
What are your thoughts on job creation?
Obviously, job creation is very important to keep our economy going and to make sure that our unemployment rate is low. So my team and I have thought of some ways that could be like quick and efficient ways. So basically, the government could fund each state very quickly for say like public works. So there'd be more jobs created in the city for people to go and clean up their city and make new buildings, like renovate them. So obviously that would create more jobs. Or you could kill two birds with one stone and focus on climate change. And focusing on climate change could you create solar panels. Obviously people need to build those solar panels. So you would have to have more jobs for that. So
Looking at the wildfires of the past couple of years, what do you think about climate change?
I believe climate change is a very serious thing that we need to fix now before it becomes out of our hands, which it kind of already is basically. But basically, obviously people cannot expect big change with very little effort. So you can't expect to 10 years from now, the CO2 levels are low and our pollution is low and the earth is getting back to normal, if you literally don't do anything, which is basically what we're doing right now. Our current government believes that climate change is not real, which is kind of crazy because literally it's like 40 degrees and it's January. So you need to find a way to try to get rid of greenhouse gases, which is the most leading cause in the warming of the earth. So you could do something called the Clean Power Plan, where you basically just set a guideline to the amount of CO2 emissions from big companies like power plants. You could make more electric cars, but that's not as good because obviously you can make more electric cars, but are people going to buy them over the first models? Because obviously if they're electric, they cost more money. Not everybody can afford a Tesla, so it needs to be cost efficient as well as get the job done. It gets the job done.
What are the changes you think should be made to prevent gun violence?
So I believe that the gun industry should be held accountable for the amount, for the ammunition and their sales and who they're selling it to, because obviously teenagers should not be able to get a gun, which I know can, because I know people who literally just went and got a gun last week because they just they like guns, so that's where they got it. And obviously that should not be a thing because teenagers their mind isn't fully developed, so that's one reason. Another reason is if you are known to be at risk for harming yourself or others, you should not be able to get a gun, because obviously guns are deadly, because they can literally kill people, obviously. So if it should just be harder for people to get guns, and that process should not take long for someone to get certification to get a gun. So basically, just finding where the point is that you should, where there's just enough background check, but not too much where it takes too long to get a gun. We have to find that like certain like happy medium. So that's something that we would work on.